A very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Smart Nation and You Let's Learn webinar on enhanced productivity in a virtual environment. Now, NTUC Learning Hub is proud to be the official continuing education and training provider, powering the Let's Learn segment of this exciting event with something for everyone. Now, we will be starting shortly. Thank you so much for all the early birds who are here. Now, while waiting for the other attendees to join us, you may wish to visit www.go.gov.sg/Let's Learn, where you can find out more about the upcoming free webinars that you can also sign up for. Also, do stay towards the end because we do have a post-webinar survey, and 2 lucky participants who complete the survey get to bring home $10 fair price online vouchers. Now, for the busy professionals who prefer learning at your own pace, NTUC Learning Hub has made learning accessible anytime, anywhere through our online learning platform, LHub Go. To help kickstart your learning journeys, we will be offering you LHub Go Discover 25 at just $20. Now, this is an exclusive deal for all webinar attendees only, and each online lesson works out to be less than $1. Now, I will be returning shortly to start the session. Meanwhile, sit back, relax, and we will see you soon. A very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to the Smart Nation NU Let's Learn webinar on enhanced productivity in a virtual environment. My name is Karen, and I'll be your host for today. Now, Singapore's Smart Nation initiative is all about using technology to improve the way we live, we work, and we play. And to realize this vision, it is crucial for our citizens to be equipped with digital skills so they can take advantage of new, exciting job opportunities, especially during this period when many of us are concerned about our careers. Now, this is why the Smart Nation and Digital Government Office and NTUC Learning Hub are glad to bring you the Smart Nation and You Let's Learn Festival. NTUC Learning Hub is proud to be the official continuing education and training provider powering this Let's Learn segment of this exciting event with something for everyone. Now, today's webinar is on enhancing productivity in a virtual environment. Now, do note that this session will be recorded. Now, if you'd like to recap your learnings, kindly visit the Smart Nation YouTube channel. A recording of the various sessions will be made available about 2 weeks after the festival. Now, we'd also like to encourage all of you to stay towards the end because we do have a post-webinar survey, and 2 lucky participants who complete the survey will get to bring home $10 fair price online vouchers. Now, today we have with us Cindy, a professional trainer in client servicing industry for over 7 years, and she specializes in delivery and contextualization of workplace employability skills. Plus, she was even awarded a Go the Extra Mile Trainers Award in recognition of her effort and contribution by NTUC Learning Hub. So everyone, if you've got any questions along the way, feel free to tap on the Q&A box so that you could key in all of your queries, and Cindy will do her best to answer them. So without further ado, everybody, I'll hand you over to Cindy. Cindy, please.
Thank you, Karine. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you had a good lunch, or maybe you're in the midst of having lunch and you join in on your phone, on your laptop, on your desktop to this webinar. I welcome you. And right now we are clocking in at about 200 over participants. I'm really, really excited to be part of Smart Nation and You Festival, the Let's Learn Festival 2021. So today's webinar is on enhanced productivity in a virtual environment. So I will be sharing my screen shortly to let you know what are some of the topics we'll be covering. And also I will be encouraging you to participate in the activities that I have lined up for you in my workshop itself. Okay, so whenever I ask you for participation, I can see your chat coming in, and then let me try to address some of your concerns as well over the chat messages or over Q&A portion. I've also dedicated a segment on Q&A portion, probably about 15 minutes or so. So if I don't answer your queries immediately, I can actually look at it towards the end of the session, and I will pick up some queries, some burning queries from you to answer. I have here with me also some of my colleagues from NTUC Learning Hub who will be answering some questions along the way as well. So now here we go. What are we going to cover today? Okay, so I will stop my, I will share my screen for now for everybody to see. Okay, so coming up on my screen shortly, you will see my header slide. Okay, hang on. All right, so everybody should be able to see my title slide, and today I'll be doing a 2 hours of seminar with you, but I'll probably leave about 15 minutes or so for Q&A. Please feel free to ask any questions. I'll try to answer them as much as I can. My topic today is talking about enhancing productivity in a virtual environment. The very environment we are in right now for this webinar is a virtual environment. Do we agree? I think if you have attended previous Smart Nation festivals or campaigns or workshops before, probably you would have done it probably face-to-face or down at roadshows. But ever since last year, we have explored the possibilities of having webinars like this. And in fact, it's very common now, right? Whether it's in your life or your personal or your work as well. So some of the topics that we'll be covering will be this. So do bear with me because this is only a very short session that we are covering today. Enhanced productivity in the virtual environment originally came from a 2-day course. So, I'm condensing part of the stuff that you are going to learn in 2 days course into a 2 hours session. So we'll be covering 3 topics. One of it is to explain. Hopefully you can take away today and know how to explain a little bit on the concept of productivity at work. So what does productivity mean to you? What does productivity mean at the workplace? Okay, and recognizing factors that impact productivity. So this is where we will look at some of the factors that may influence productivity of yourself in the workplace or even in your personal life. And topic 3, we'll look at how collaboration virtual collaboration enhances productivity. Yeah. So we'll take a look at why some companies are actually moving towards virtual collaboration and what's the benefit of us collaborating virtually. Okay, so let's get into the first topic proper. I see chat messages coming in, so I will address them shortly when I look at it. Okay, over here, first topic, explaining the concept of productivity at work. Okay, so many of us hear the word productivity, right? In fact, for us, if you read the history of Singapore itself, we started productivity campaigns back in 1960s all the way to 1990s. So what is this thing about productivity and how has it changed over the years? Okay, so now this is where I will pause my talking. I mean, I will still talk, but I will want you to share with me. So this is where I have an activity for you. I know this is a lot of people are attending this webinar. So that's why I have my activity online to let as many of you participate as possible. Okay, so what you're going to see right now, okay, is I will flash to you, I will type in the chat a website that you can access through your phone or through your laptop or to any device that you're using. So I will also be giving you a code to actually enter the presentation, and then you will be answering this question. So don't go and check Google, don't look through your dictionary, just think through in your workplace or what you have learned so far, what does productivity actually mean to you? So this is what we call a Mentimeter activity. I'm going to pause my screen share here so I can switch my screens. Okay, hang on. Okay, so everybody, I'm going to type it into the chat, www.menti.com. Okay, so you can access the website first and wait for my code to come up. Okay. Yeah, so this is where we do a lot of toggling behind the scenes, but my code is coming up right now. 122318882. Yeah, I see some answers, in the chat. Okay, I see some answers in the chat. So I will read out some of the answers to you later. But let me pause my screen share. Okay, sorry, let me reshare my screen. My apologies. So you would be seeing my screen right now, and you will be seeing my Mentimeter presentation. Okay, what does productivity mean to me? Okay, the code is 122318882. Okay, 122318882. Yes, we have, I think, over 200 participants here. So we will give a couple of minutes for everybody to answer. Okay, so that we can capture as many responses as possible. On my list here, I have 282 participants. Wow, that's really a huge number. And we are glad to have you here. If you just stepped in, if you just joined us in the webinar, my name is Cindy, and I'm asking everybody the question to kickstart today's webinar. What does productivity mean to you? To you at the workplace, to you as in your personal life, what does it mean? So I'm going to give everybody a little bit of time to answer. If you can't get into my Mentimeter presentation, yet you can look at the top of my screen here. It says here menti.com. The code is this. Okay, so maybe I will put it to full screen for you to see it better. Okay, there we go. All right, so if you see me turning my head, that's because I use two screens. And I'm also watching you from the other screen. So live of a virtual workshop, a live of a webinar presenter. We'll be having two. We have it. I'm used to seeing myself on two screens also. Okay, so let's see. I do have some messages in the chat. One of them is from, let's see, Ray Hong. One of them is from Ray Hong. He or she says that it's the amount of useful work done. Okay. Then we have Santu Kumar. He says the best. Okay, or the best. Okay. And we also have Mr. Tan, who says competency, efficiency, get work done faster without compromising on quality. Okay. It is also we also have a input from Daphne. Okay, working efficiently using PC tools and apps. Wow, yeah, that's a really different definition of productivity, but well, Daphne, well done. Okay, and we also, let's look through. Let me check how many results I have so far. 101. I think that's a good number. Yeah, I think more will come in. Take your time. I'm just going to run through some of the options, but you notice, ladies and gentlemen, as I scroll down the screen, what do you notice? Which word comes out very prominently? Which word? If I scroll through the screen, you see like which word keep popping out? Effectiveness. Thank you, Juliana. Effectiveness. Efficient. Yeah, from Lam Topo. Yeah, efficient. Yes, you notice the word efficiency seems to pop up quite a bit, right? Efficiency, efficiency, you know, effectiveness, efficiency, effectiveness, complete task before targeted timeline, work less, achieve more, close more sales. Yeah, efficient usage. So I think Juliana also identified another word, which is effectiveness. How effective you are at the work itself, and also how efficient. Very good. And we also have another input here, using the least inputs to obtain the highest output. You know, accurate, effective competency of tasks. 115 responses so far. Thank you so much for responding. You can see the beauty of collaboration platforms or virtual platforms like this. You know, in the past, when we were doing this face-to-face, we probably have to give you another platform to input the answers. But now, at least, you know, I can see all your answers all on one screen, and I can pick up keywords pretty easily from here. But I think I think all of you here almost got it right. You know, provides productivity. Some says bigger output using same resources, efficiency, effectiveness, you know, being able to focus on the task appointed to me and complete the task in a given time. You are all correct in some sense. And then productivity also has many different meanings from here. Okay, so let me pause my screen share for a while. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is Menti. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Rebecca, for mentioning efficiency. Thank you. This is Mentimeter. I'm going to use this platform for my activities throughout this webinar. Okay, so you take this code number. I will use it again later. You will be able to present your answers again, or share with me your answers again on my questions set up on this platform. And we will also be doing a quiz later on this platform. All right, so now I'll pause my screen share here. Okay, thank you to my 100 over respondents, plus those who responded in the chat. All right, you can't see the chat messages. That's why I read them out to you to acknowledge them. So I'm going to share my screen right now. Okay, I'm going to share my screen right now. Back to my slide. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so you should be looking at my slide right now. I'm going to put it to full screen mode. So the activity you have just done was trying to get you thinking about productivity. Okay, all right. So over here, what does productivity mean to all of us? I'm just going to give a very simple explanation, which I think some of you already picked up. Okay, yeah, some of you already picked up. All right, in this case, it is actually doing more things, doing more work with the same amount of resources. You know, so when we say productivity, or when we say a person is very productive, then it's with the same amount of resources or even lesser, you know, the person can produce more. And this is what a simple concept of productivity itself. So over here, in virtual workplace or in any work environment, or when we talk about productivity, this is where I like to go a little bit deeper to help you understand or grasp some basic concepts of productivity. Because productivity is about work, but we can expand it to bigger, in terms of macroeconomics. We can look at it at a bigger scale. Okay. So the first one, what types of productivity? What are the types of productivity we have? One, national productivity. National productivity. Okay. And second, company productivity. Yeah, company. You notice we talk about productivity all this while, right? We probably know what it means, but how does it look like when it's at a national level? How does it look like when it's at a company level? And what does it look like at the individual or workers level? So three major concepts. Okay, three major concepts itself. So we have national productivity, company productivity, and employee productivity. So now, the first up, national productivity. Okay, before I flash up, I'm going to flash my next slide. Okay, and of course, you will see the word national productivity. But I thought I'd elicit some answers from you from the chat randomly. Generally, when we talk about national productivity, what is the one term that comes to mind? Anyone? I know you can't read one another's responses. So I'm just going to look through whoever can respond in the chat for me. Yeah, very good. I have an answer from Lam Zhiyuan. He or she says the term that comes to your mind is GDP. GDP. Yeah, GDP, or what we call gross domestic product. Okay, I know it sounds very economical terms. I mean, I had an economics background to start with, and I see these terms all the time during my economics years. But actually, a lot of times when we talk about national productivity, the common term or the common measurement to use is GDP. Okay, per capita, per employed person. Oh, thank you for responding. Singapore. Thank you, Daphne. Or Daphne's chat, she put that Singapore. Singapore. That means she sees Singapore as a very productive nation. Very good, very good. That's I think that's a good sign. That's a good impression that we have. But yes, national productivity is typically defined and measured in terms of GDP per capita. Okay, so let's go to the next one. We see the national level. Now we come down to the work level. Okay, what about company productivity? How does a company measure its productivity? Okay, so it can either produce more goods and services with the same amount of work, yeah, or revenue. Thank you very much. Yeah, revenue. Yes, we have for Mike revenue, ROI, return on investments from Mabel. Thank you. See, I like this interaction here. Though I know I can't see you, but I can see your messages coming in. We are interacting in virtual space like this. All right. A company can produce more goods and services with the same amount of labor, same amount of work. Now, in the course itself, in the 2 days course itself conducted by NTUC LearningHub, the focus is really more on employee productivity. Okay, how to measure or what is it really meant by employee productivity? So let's look at this. Okay, so employee productivity. So it's the amount of work or output produced by an employee in a specific period of time. Okay, so the period of time could have been like a month, a week, a day. It depends on how the company wants to define this. Let's give an example. Okay, simple mathematics or KPI. Priscilla Ho says KPI. Yeah, true. But have you ever wondered, in a way that how does the company set this KPI to determine whether you are productive? Okay, we take a very simplified example. Of course, in the real world, since we're going to talk about virtual collaboration later, there are other ways to measure productivity even in virtual space. Okay, so here now now everybody just take out your calculator or do your abacus calculation or mental calculation or whatsoever. What is the employee productivity of a factory? Let's say we have a factory here. They produces $80,000 worth of TVs in 1,500 hours. Come, let's calculate. Okay, I will see your answers in the chat. I'll read out the first answer that comes to my chat. Okay, yeah. Okay, so what do you think? What is the employee productivity of a factory that produces 80,000 worth of TVs in 1,500 hours? Thank you. Rashida, Rosalie. Wow, hers very got a lot of decimals some more. $53.33333 per hour. Yeah. 53 Paul, I know we have Mike and Paul saying $53 per hour, $53 per hour. So how did we arrive at that figure? Okay. Wow, all the chat messages all popping in. Yes, I think Mabel also says 53.33 per hour. So you did your calculation well. Yeah, good. So let's see. We have the answer, everybody. Yeah, 80,000 divided by 1,005. Remember, we said is the amount of work produced by the employee in a specific time, right? That is about 53.333. I rounded it down. Okay, very good. But this is just a very simplified way of calculating employee productivity. We will explore other ways in calculating employee activity in the cost proper itself. But I thought I would just like to, bring this idea forward that productivity is, we're here so far, we've talked so far all whole numbers, 2 decimal point. Thank you, Raphael, Hua. Okay, so all this thing that we talk about productivity is all linked to producing more in a lesser period of time, doing more in a fixed period of time. Yeah, so the concept is there, being more efficient, and there it all comes in. Okay, so that's just a very quick run through on the concept of productivity itself. Okay, and we are going to go into the next topic. As I said, it's going to be some of this is going to be pretty short because I have a limited time to cover as much as I can, and I also want to let you participate in the activities that I've set out for you. All right, so in the next topic itself, we'll be looking at, since we now know a little bit more about this productivity, the next part we'll look at what are the factors that impact productivity, whether it's virtual, whether it's face-to-face, or whether it's in your work environment, or even personal, right? So just a quick time check. We have 20 minutes into the webinar itself. And later on, around the halfway mark, which is maybe about another 20 minutes or so, I will give your bio break in between, probably 5 minutes, where we'll go for a break. And then we'll come back and resume the next half of the webinar. All right. So good job here. So everybody, well done. And we are clocking in at 308 participants right now. And thank you so much for joining me. And we are at topic 2. Okay, we are going to look at some factors that impact productivity. In case you just joined us, we talked about concept of productivity earlier on in the first part of the webinar. So now we are into our second topic of the day. Okay, so now what is the importance of productivity? Why the talk about productivity? I mentioned to you earlier on, if you read Singapore's history, we have productivity campaigns running all the way from 1970s to 1990s. So clearly we see Singapore sees this as a very big portion of economic development and so on and so forth. So now I'm going to pose this question back to you. Okay, back to you again. So we're going to do another activity. Yeah. What are some of the benefits of having a productive workforce? Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't be too excited to answer yet. I want to capture some of your responses for everyone to see, because if you type it in the chat, only I can see. But if you type it on my Mentimeter platform, everybody can see what one another has typed. Okay, so I'll again pause my screen share right now. Pause my screen share. It's the same code that we had just now, but I'm going to share my screen again, reshare my screen, so that you can see my next presentation. Nice. And for the benefit for those who just joined, or who have missed out my earlier chat messages, I will let you have the code again coming up on my chat message shortly. Okay. So here we go. And this is where you can type in, you can go to menti.com and use the code 12231882. Okay, so I'm going to actually come up, do out my screen share right now. And before that, let me just put it to full screen mode for you. So what are some of the benefits of having a productive workforce? Oh, there is an error. I'm sorry. Let me see. Let me take a look. Okay, everybody can see my screen. Oh, is it not? Oh, yeah, more free time. I think it's okay. People are answering, so keep your answers coming. Kelvin, you okay? If you can't, you just try again, maybe refresh your screen or something. Yeah, because I haven't presented it just now, so maybe that's why you couldn't share. Thank you, Kelvin. Rebecca, you want to try and look at this message. You want to try and go to menti.com and key in the code again and see whether you could get back inside. Okay, now thank you, Kelvin. Yes, because I think earlier when you tried, I haven't presented the slide, so that's why you couldn't actually input your answers. So glad you told me that. You see, thank you. And wow, we have 49 responses so far. We wait for you all to respond. I give everybody a couple of minutes to do so that everybody has some time to. And also the good thing about using this platform, I quite like it because I can see everybody's responses and gives you a chance to look at your friends' responses as well here. Okay, I am clocking at 82 responses right now. 82 responses. Very good. Oh, okay. I have, let's see. Mina, who just told me increased profitability. Okay, I'm leaving this open for a couple of more seconds because we want to get people used to using the platform, and then we want to see whether we can capture more answers. Okay, increased profitability. I hear you, Mina. I got your chat there. Very good. And let's see this one. Wow, let's look through some of the answers. So 109 responses so far. Well done. And so the question now, ladies and gentlemen, is what are some of the benefits of having a productive workforce? Obviously, there must be benefits, right? If not, why do we talk about it, right? Yeah. So in this case, we can look at some of what you have written out so far. Very good. Very good. Wow. Wow. Okay. And we also have Catherine, who just mentioned in the chat, reduce costs for your business. And Celine, who also says higher returns. Yeah. Oh, very good. Nice, nice, nice. Wow, 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 wow. See, so many benefits. Huh? And Sue and Wang says produce lower cost of products. Yes, very good, very good. Okay, let's see, 123 responses all coming in. Well done, well done. Higher output, more profit. So let's look at let me just run through some of the answers for you all, so you all get a chance to see what other people have written as well. Or Celine says return of investments, ROI, higher returns. If you have a more productive workforce, you have higher returns. If you have a more productive workforce, you actually free up time for more interesting stuff, as in for more interesting jobs or interesting projects. In fact, at the work itself, if you can become more productive, means you have extra time to take on new projects, right? Yeah, very good. And we also have more bonuses. If the company can translate this into cost savings, I suppose, then the more bonuses can come in. Huh? Completing the given task on time. Yeah, you feel good after completing the given task on time, right? I'm just picking out some key points here and there. Yeah, doing more work with the same amount of time. Don't we all want to do that? We want to do so much things with the limited amount of time that we have. Okay, then we also have company can grow and stay positive, and the workforce will reap what they sow. Yeah, good. Employees feel engaged. Well done. And in fact, happier and motivated workforce, sustainable growth. Yeah, and resulting greater profitability to the business. Hence, may likely give higher rewards to the workers. That was what I mentioned just now. Thank you for this person for putting it in. Indeed. I think besides looking at you getting more work done, but it also looks into translating into so-called cost savings. And if you can use the time spent that you saved on certain jobs and pick up other new stuff, this is where you get a chance to learn new skills as well. A healthy team, higher output, A better lifestyle for all, complete tasks in the day, no OT. Yes, correct. Yes, OT itself is not a word that we all enjoy, right? But sometimes we have to do because we find that we have 8 hours in a day at work, but we can't finish what we want to in the day. Okay, so less absenteeism, increased profitability, lowers operational cost, optimizes resources. Thank you so much for your sharing all here. Okay, so again, I think I gave you a chance to express what you thought are some of the benefits of having a productive workforce. This is a really good way of capturing some of your responses. And I think I hear some keywords like more profits, cost savings, you know, more time, more work-life balance. Yeah, less time spent at work, no need to do OT. Yeah, all these are really benefits of being more productive. So I paused my screen share here for a while. Sue mentioned competitive price for export market. Yes, well done. Okay, so here, let me go back to my slides, okay? And then you will be able to see what I have here for you in key points, actually. So you did the second Mentimeter activity with me, okay, on importance of productivity, or some of the benefits of having a productive workforce. Okay, so here. So what are some of the benefits that we picked up so far? Besides all that you have said, I think if you look, we actually look at it having benefits to 3 parties. The first one, of course, is the business owners, people who own the business, the people who lead the business, and then last but not least, to you, the individuals and employees, right? So first one, along the way, business owners, how does it look like? For a business owner, all these things that you mentioned about cost savings, ROI, competitive prices, profits and all that, right? Yeah, so there we have it, business owners. Look at productivity as, or see benefits to productivity as this, cost savings, higher profits. I just picking out some keywords there. Okay, so if you're a business owner, or some of you may already be business owners in this webinar here, you will know that this is actually something that you are chasing for all the time, right? We want to have lower our costs, we want to have higher profits to ensure the sustainability of our business. Okay, so then what does productivity mean for business leaders? How would they approach this? Why would they want their staff to be very productive? Why so? Because, and also why would they, when they invest in something or invest in a technology, how do they know that the technology really can help them produce what they aim for? Because, and that's where productivity measures, or the concept of productivity also comes in. It helps business leaders determine if the investments they have made really help to improve the productivity at the workplace, or it's just a technology that they brought in and a white elephant sitting there. Okay, and last but not least, for you, many of you here could be working, could be an employee, you could be a self-employed person, you could be a business owner, but if you're an individual or an employee itself, it could mean for you increased quality of life and higher wages, as what you have mentioned in all your Mentimeter answers just now, right? Increased quality of life, you have more time to spend with your family, you don't have to do so much OT, and cost savings from the business, eventually, if it's good, can translate into higher wages. Great. So I shared with you so much so far about concept of productivity, what's productivity, and why is it important for businesses, okay? And employees like you and I, or individuals like you and I, or business leaders as well. So now, the next part is to think about what are some of the factors, that could impact productivity. So now it flows nicely, right? Now, first you have an idea of what productivity is, and remember that the concepts of, remember productivity can be at national level, can be at country, can be at a work level, can be individual level, employee level. So now, what are some of the factors that can impact productivity itself? Okay, so I want you to share with me here, okay? Again, the same Mentimeter code, okay, for the benefit of those who may not have seen it earlier. I pause my screen share again, okay? Don't be too eager to share it until I've opened up the presentation, okay? So let me go back to this here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're joining me here, okay, so if you just stepped in or you come in or you may miss the chat early on. So now we can, same thing. You'll notice, anyway, because I use Mentimeter and other tools quite a lot in my virtual presentations. Mentimeter is one of the ones that I quite like, so because it's quite versatile. Okay, so here I have, well, you're all ready for the third one. So now I want you to think through, for all of you who are here, you have seen the benefits of productivity, right? You really want, hope, or at least think that, yeah, there are a lot of benefits for me to be productive at the workplace. Okay, so but then what are some of the factors that may impact productivity? Okay, so I'm going to do my screen share for you right now, full screen mode, and here we go. Okay, well, I'll take a quick look at some of the chat messages that comes in. So it's the same code like just now. The reason why it's the same code is because I haven't refreshed the presentation, so we can use the same code just now. But you notice this time around, it looks a bit different from the previous two presentations, right? So I will share with you a little bit more after more answers come in. So we have 4 so far. Let's take a look at, in the meantime, let's take a look at some of the chat messages. Okay. Wow, very good. Thank you, Juliana, for posting in the chat. Juliana posted training and reskill of employees. Okay, interesting. Why would that impact productivity? It's an automation tool. Zach says automation tools. Wow, my this word cloud is very actively, changing, enlarging. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have 63 responses so far, and my word cloud is still very actively changing. I'm just going to give everybody a few more minutes to put in more and more answers in the word cloud. So you notice this presentation format is just slightly different, very much different from the previous two, right? Yeah, the previous two, I got you to do more of like an open-ended, just like random pasting out the answers, just to get you to give your comments. But this round, I got you to present or to submit your answers, which the platform itself organizes for me in the form of a word cloud. So clearly you see many words, right? Woo, 102. Thank you, Zach. You also mentioned management's mindset. Management's mindset and may impact productivity at the workplace, right? Yeah, I mean, I fully agree with you. Thank you, Zach. Because I think of course, if you're managed, we would like to have a supportive management at the workplace to support us taking on new things, or maybe even trying out new stuff to improve productivity. Okay, so here, let's see. Wow, it's just changing. So you all can see the words chun, right? Yeah, because currently you all have we have 300 over participants here, so that's why if each of you submit something, it's actually make my word cloud very substantial here. 120 responses so far. Thank you. Yeah, great. Keep coming, keep your words coming in. Yeah, and Sue says, people make the difference to productivity and the company. Thank you, Sue. Well done. Thank you, Sue. Yes, in Sue and Wong, she sent a chat to me and said people and make a lot of difference to being productive and the company. Yes, because I don't think a machine, whatever it is, or whatever machines or technology we use, it's just an enabler for us. We use it to help us become more productive. But in the first place, we must know how to use it or make use of it. Otherwise, the productivity doesn't come in. You can buy a new technology, but invest a lot of money in a new technology at the workplace. none of your staff know how to use it, or you don't bother to train your staff to use it, then it will impact productivity a lot. Yeah, thank you. And yes, Lydia, you are right. The bigger size words means that it is more popular, indeed. So everybody, wow, so far, if you take a look at the word cloud on my screen, okay, it's still very active in changing. 150, 60 responses so far. Well done, everybody. So I mean, it will keep on changing as long as there are submissions. So we just let it go ahead. And now I want maybe you all can try to see what are some of the words that are popular. In my word cloud, right? You all can see on my screen, my word cloud is a very nice substantial word cloud. Because normally when I use this for in-class presentations or virtual presentations, right? Normally we don't have such a big group of 300 over people here. But now we can have a very substantial and very interesting word cloud. But certain words pop up quite obviously, right? Yeah, certain words pop up quite obviously. So what are the words you can see from the word cloud? Yeah, you can take a look and spend some time, spend a couple of seconds to digest that. Wow, okay, I'm looking at my other screen so I can see the word cloud nicely. Still coming in. So it seems like the one big word that popped up in the middle seems to be, thank you, Catherine, is motivation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then we also see motivate. Okay, we see my cursor here pointing at motivation. We see management. Then we see the word communication. We also see the word morale. Yeah, thank you, Catherine. It seems people play a big part. Thank you, Mabel. Yes, indeed. Yeah, motivation, management, morale, training, communication. And I saw one word here right at the corner, not that big, but I'm pretty sure it appeared somewhere else in the word cloud as well. The word on technology. Okay, coming up here, I see on the left-hand side here, technology. It seems people play a big part, and technology, coupled with technology, it plays a big part as well. Okay, so well done, everybody. I'm clocking in at 189 submissions so far. I'm just going to pause my screen share. Okay, but we have picked out the keywords already. Okay, motivation, management, technology, communication, morale, training, environment, collaboration, culture, resources. Okay, so these are the words that are much bigger compared to the rest in the word cloud. Not that the rest are not important, but it seems that these words are popular, right? So clearly, many of you feel that, hey, motivation, this productivity is really quite influenced by technology, by the management style, training, and all that. Okay, so let me pause my screen share and switch back to my slides so I can share with you a little bit more. Thank you so much all for I really like this participation that you all have, and thank you for participating so actively in the activity, because that's what makes this webinar more interactive. And of course, we hope that you do pick up something as well here. So I'll put back my screen share here. Get back my screen share here. So you did this. Okay, we saw in the word cloud. Okay, very nice big little word cloud. I would say little, but it's a lot of words inside the word cloud. So we have picked out, I think, a few factors that will influence or impact productivity. The first one is the personnel factor. Okay, meaning the people itself, like what Mabel mentioned to me in the chat, right? It seems people play a large part indeed. Okay, how motivated your staff is, right? And the work environment. Is the work environment a conducive environment for people to be productive in the first place? Yeah. So some of us, for those, I think we spend a lot of time at work, right? Now that we work from home, we don't say that, but before that, we were always in the office. Is your office environment, excuse me, a very conducive one so that you can be productive? Okay. And technology, big word T, technology, ta-da, right? What has it got to do with technology? Because like I mentioned earlier on, technology is an enabler for us to be productive, okay? And also the mental and physical well-being of employees itself. So actually out of the four, that I picked out here, two of it already relates to people. how healthy or mental and physically the people working for the company are, well, employees are, actually impacts productivity a lot, right? Followed by work environment, followed by technology. So these are some of the factors that actually impact productivity at the workplace. So we will not be going into details into all, because I just wanted to pick up some of the key factors for you. But you will be examining all this in detail if you actually have more time, of course, in a proper class itself. All right. So over here, now the talk about T, the big word T here, leads us to the next topic on technology. We talk a little bit more about virtual collaboration. So what's this hype about virtual collaboration and how does it enhance productivity itself? Okay, so I'll do a time check now. The time is 1:15. Yeah, just nice as promised. Okay, so we will go for a 5-minute break, bio break itself, before we come back for topic 3. Okay, so let's reconvene here at 1:20 for the next half of the seminar. Okay, I will see you guys in a 5-minute break. In the meantime, I'll go and take some water and you enjoy your break. Okay, everyone, I'm going to gently welcome you back. So it was a 5 minutes break, like I promised. Quick break, bio break, water break, whatever break you have it. Yeah, so good to have all of you back here. And I hope you're still with me so far. Okay, so what you have seen now on my screen is basically the QR code for the enhanced productivity using collaboration tools. If you want to understand more about the course itself, please scan the QR code to find out more, or you can visit the NTUC Learning Hub's website. All right, so everybody okay so far? Great. All right, so now we have the second half of the webinar itself, and we are into topic 3. Okay, so we are going to actually get you again to do some activity. Of course, we will need you to participate in certain activity. If not, it's a way of me finding out whether you can understand what I'm saying, or I'm able to catch your attention or not. Okay, so now let me share my screen back. Welcome back from the break, everyone. Okay, good to have you here, and so happy to be part of Smart Nation and U2 2021's Let's Learn Festival. And we have a series of webinars lined up for you. And if you have chance, you can sign up for others upcoming later and tomorrow, and also the rest of this week as well. In fact, I myself attended one yesterday, and I really found it very informative. Right? So learning can be really anywhere, anytime. Okay, so coming up on my screen right now, you will see my slides back again. Yeah, and we are now on to topic 3. We are in good time. And in fact, I'm going to give you a bit more time to play around with the next activity. So the topic 3, we are looking at how collaboration virtually enhances productivity. Okay, so we have talked about collaborative productivity in terms of understanding as a definition, a term, benefits. What are the benefits of productivity? What are some of the factors that may impact productivity itself? So now, this talk about virtual collaboration. How does it help productivity? So to understand this, we first will touch on this term called Industrial Revolution 4.0. If you have heard, you have been following the news all this while, I think ever since before last year, this term about IR 4.0, in short, we call this IR 4.0, okay, has been popping up a lot in a lot of discussions, a lot of news articles also, talking about this revolution is something like we have never seen before. So what is this all about? Okay, so guess what? I have a quiz for you all. Ching, ching, ching. So we'll get you to participate in my quiz. Okay, because there's so many of you here, at least about 300 over participants, on 300, about 299, 300 participants on my list here. So the quiz itself, we have 300 now. So I'm going to set it to, I'm going to let you have a chance to look at the question properly before you answer. Okay, so again, I'm going to use my Mentimeter platform for you to do the quiz. Okay, so we can use the quiz, the questions from the quiz, to help us understand more about what is Industrial Revolution 4.0 and what does it mean for us as employees, as business owners, and what impact does it have on productivity. Okay, so pause my screen share here. This time around, you will get a different code. Okay, you will get a different code, but it's still menti.com. So I'm just going to look through my quiz questions again, and good luck. Okay, I'm going to present this first and share with you the code. All right, okay. So I'm going to add a leaderboard to the screen as well. Not that I have any physical prizes to give you, but like we said, this is let me just going to pull up this one. Just for fun, we want to see we want to compete itself on the one on here. So coming up on my chat, everybody, so please take a look at the Zoom chat. It's where you will find my code, menti.com 58695837. Put in a nickname, any nickname that you like. Okay, join me on this quiz itself. Okay, so I'm just going to do my screen share. All right, wow. Okay, I use my other screen to see how many people I have. Yes. Join us, join us. You know, I think it can support, if I'm not wrong, I may be wrong, but it can support up to definitely more than 300 participants. So many. Wow. Cool. Okay, I hope I created this quiz especially for this webinar. Okay. Only 75 avatars are shown, but actually in actual fact, there are already 85 of you. Join us. We'll give a while more for everybody to join, because do bear with us because this is a very big group that we have here. We want everybody to have a chance to participate. So, you know, everyone is going to figure out how to do it. Some of us will be figuring out how to do it and things like that. So you can go to the website www.menti.com. Okay. And let's put down the code 5869-5837. Put any nickname that you like. They will just randomly give you an avatar. That's all. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Kelvin. Wow, Kelvin is picking up the code as well. But the code is on my screen too. You can look at my screen there. Okay. So we'll give more people to join in. 108. Woohoo! Yay! Okay. Because of the number of participants we have here, we want everybody to have a chance to read through the question and answer. Okay. So each question has a time limit of about 1 minute. Okay, so you must answer within that 1 minute or the timer will run. Okay. Okay. Give it a while more. Good. 120, 123. The more the merrier, There we can have more fun in this quiz, understanding more about Industrial Revolution 4.0, also known as IR 4.0. What is it all about? You know, so what do we learn? So, I will share with you a little bit more as we go through the quiz questions. We're clocking in at 124 right now. Join us, continue to join. I can see question 1 of 6. I haven't seen a question. Because I haven't Chin Wu, I haven't started the game. haven't. Wait, just wait. Hang on, because I want as many people as join as possible, so that at least we can get more participation. Okay, so far 124, 125, 127, 100 over. Cool. Wow, 127. If you can, if you're in the webinar right now, if you can, do join us here on the quiz itself, because we are going to try to understand a little bit more about Industry 4.0. What's IR 4.0 has to do in our world of virtual collaboration. All right, 1 to 9. Now, what's the magic number? Maybe I'll give it 2 more. Then we can kickstart the quiz. 1 to 9. Oh, great. Okay, I think we're good to go. Let's just go ahead. Let's do this. Okay, let's start. Here we go. First question coming up on the screen. Okay, what is the 4th industrial revolution? What is the 4th industrial revolution all about? Is it mass production, assembly line electricity? Is it the integration of cyber and physical systems? Is it machines powered by steam engine? Or is it computers and electronics creating automation? If you are using your device, you look at the options from your device and just choose the correct option, or at least what you think is the correct option. Okay, so press the correct option on your device or on your laptop itself. Okay, you can refer to your laptop or your device. The options will be there for you to choose. You see the timer running out. So I've set about 1 minute for each question so that we can see. Okay, we have 10 more seconds. I have quite a number of responses already. Very good. Okay, what is Industrial Revolution 4.0 all about? Ta-da! Time's up. So let's see. Now, ladies and gentlemen, correct answer should be 41 of you answered correctly. Does it surprise you? That is not. I know majority of you answered computers and electronics creating automation. But does it surprise you to find out that that is not the answer? The correct answer is actually the integration of cyber and physical systems. So Industry 4.0 is very much different from the rest of the revolutions that we have. Okay, first, the number four suggests that we are now in the fourth phase. In our history of mankind, we already had 1, 2, 3 revolutions before the fourth one. Okay, that's why the 4.0 comes in. So now you see that actually, when you talk about computers and automation, they belong to the previous revolution, not exactly in Industry 4.0, because Industry 4.0 is really blurring the lines between the physical and the human and the biological, physical and cyber systems altogether. A lot of these technologies are very integrated into our daily life, such that we find that we cannot do without it. Okay, but this is just the first question. And also the other two, mass production assembly line, the very first industrial revolution starts from, ladies and gentlemen, the steam engine. Okay, way back in the 1700s, steam engine, followed by the invention of electricity. That was the second industrial revolution. And that was in terms of mass production. And then suddenly the assembly lines became so popular because of electricity. And then third, it's the computers era. And the fourth is your fourth industrial revolution. Okay, so question 2 coming up. So now you know the drill. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. Question 2. Wow, not bad. They allow me to start countdown. Okay, here we go. 60 seconds to answer this. Where did the term Industry 4.0 originate from? Which country do you think? Make a guess, make a guess. Yeah, which country do you think that the term first pop up? Okay, Annie Choi, hi. I know you didn't answer in the Mentimeter, but it's in the, you sent to me a chat, right? You said China. We shall see whether your answer is right or not, okay? Just hang on there, Annie. The rest, make a guess. Could it be from France? Could it be from China? Could it be online? Could it be Germany? Ching, ching, ching. Rebecca also said China. So we have two audiences who said China. Annie and Rebecca add on to the China poll. But the answer is actually not China, but Germany. And the term Industry 4.0 originated as early as in 2011. But I think it was only about 2014 then it was officially kind of like announced at a World Economic, at a forum, like announcing this term and announcing that it's actually in action. Okay, but it came from Germany, which, and like I mentioned earlier, this is an era that is marked by massive technological advancements, the blurring of the physical and the cyber system. Okay, so this is something that, to be honest, when my journey in terms of digital workplace training kickstarted really quite a few years ago. And I was kind of like also reading up a lot on Industry 4.0. It's really amazing how far we have come in the past decade. And so much of this is really accelerated even by the pandemic that we experienced last year and still ongoing now. So before the pandemic hit us back in 2020, way back in 2019, I was already been giving out talks, and I've been asked to go to manufacturers or factories to talk about Industry 4.0 and what is the impact it has on the business and also the employees itself. Okay, but well done, ladies and gentlemen. So you are on the right track. We are going to question number 3. Number three, everyone. Question 3, are you ready? Let's go. Okay, answer fast to get more points. Which one of the options is not a technology, but of industry or IR 4.0, Industry Revolution 4.0 or IR 4.0? So which one of it is not actually a technology that was actually kind of like invented during IR 4.0? Which one? If you really cannot join my quiz, you just type your answers in the chat so I can see. Then I add on the numbers to your poll to the final result later. Okay. Wow. Gadip says next industry space. In fact, there is even talks about industry 5.0 already. So, well, things are happening fast. Okay, we have a few more seconds before we close the question. Okay, Annie, Rebecca, Bob. I don't know whether they managed to answer this time around, but I hope so. Yeah, time's up. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, and now everyone. Celine says automation. Well done. So after the first question, now you all know that automation actually is not really in a product of Industrial Revolution 4.0, right? It was actually a product of Industrial Revolution 3.0. The era of computers, that's where we can use computers to write programs, to actually automate processes and machines and things like that. So that was already in the Industrial Revolution 3.0. So your answer, if you have chosen automation, is correct. Okay, it is not a product of IR 4.0, but artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, big data are all technologies kind of like that have become increasingly popular in the world of Industrial Revolution 4.0. Okay, so now we know. So when I first designed questions for Industrial Revolution 4.0, I was also quite surprised to know, automation is not part of this era. I thought nowadays a lot of things are being automated, but apparently no. It's already, we go way back in Industrial Revolution 3.0 to kickstarted automation way back then. So now we are taking automation a step further. We not only automate it, but we add artificial intelligence into it. We add things, we combine it with Internet of Things, and then we collect big data and do big data analytics to find out more about what's going on, discover patterns and trends. And so all these are all part of Industrial Revolution 4.0. So ladies and gentlemen, we are now at question 4. Okay, good job. Let's do this. Right here. What is the role of Internet technologies and the IoT in the context of Industry 4.0? So in case you didn't know, IoT stands for Internet of Things. Internet of Things. Okay. And so what does Internet technologies and the Internet of Things stand for in the context of Industry 4.0? Now, what do you think they will be? What role do you think they will be taking out? Choose from out of the 4 options given. Right? Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, very good. We can see that you're very actively answering the questions. Well done, well done. Now, keep up the good work. So if you really can't join in my Menti quiz, if you cannot, just pop your answers in the chat then. 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Answer review. Yes, okay. It is true. They form the basis for the networking of everyday objects, your Internet of Things. So we will not go into too much detail about Internet of Things here. I think you can learn them, read out a lot more about them or in other courses as well. But they are really quite important because without it, the networking of or the transfer of data of our everyday stuff will not be really possible. Of course, it's also supported by other technologies like cloud. It's also used in conjunction with other technologies like cloud and so on and so forth. Okay, but really, the Internet is now the basic of networking, the basis for networking for everyday work. Imagine our lives without Internet of Things or Internet. We cannot even work from home, right? Yeah. So we can't even work from home that smoothly. Yeah. So this is where the role of the IoT has, I would say, has shaped how we actually look at virtual collaboration also. Okay. Well done, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. We are now at question 5. Good job. Good job. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Here. Oops. Okay. And I'm going to start the end. So question number 5. Let's do this. Now, question, which industries are suitable for implementing Industry 4.0? Is it the service sector? Is it the agricultural and automotive sectors? Is it pharmaceuticals industry, or every industry where the processes can become smarter? So essentially, we are trying to ask you, which industries will be impacted by Industry 4.0? What do you think? Yeah. If you cannot put the answers down in the Menti, you can put it in the chat. I can also read them. But I think after you heard so much about virtual collaboration or productivity and stuff, and you have working from home for a while, and now I hope you can see the impact of Industry 4.0 on us right now. Okay, we have a few more seconds to go before we close this question. Ta-da-da. Okay, here we go. And time's up. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are right. Okay, Industry 4.0 is not only impacting service sector alone, neither does it only impact agricultural and automotive sectors, neither does it only impact the medical or pharmaceutical sector, but it is any industry, every industry where the processes can become smarter. So it can be in terms of education, it can be service, it can be the medical, and it can be manufacturing. So many industries can tap on the technologies in Industrial Revolution 4.0. Okay, so it's really every industry. So which means that whichever industry you are in right now or going into, it is very likely that you will actually experience the impact of industrialization. Okay. Okay, thank you, May Teo. Thank you, May. No worries. Okay, I hope you enjoyed so far. She has to attend another webinar. Okay, very good. So I'm going to go for my last question here now, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's question 6, Industrial Revolution 4.0. So get ready, and here we go. What could be the effects of Industrial Revolution 4.0? Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're here, this is time for you to think through. Okay, after we talked about Industrial Revolution 4.0, why could it be? What could it? Why do I talk about it? Or why do we mention this in a virtual collaboration class? How does it impact you? Okay, does it mean new jobs created? Does it mean more tools to work? Does it mean end of certain jobs, or does it mean new jobs created and the end of certain jobs? What does it mean to us as an employee, as a business owner, as an individual even? What could be the effects of Industrial Revolution 4.0? Ching, ching, ching. One more second and time's up. Let's look at your final answers, ladies and gentlemen. Well done. Yes, indeed. We are not only looking at new jobs created, we are also seeing the end of certain jobs. Certain jobs will gradually be phased out, but in the same industry, new job roles could be created. So we are looking at job transformation or reformation here. Okay, and which means that you as a worker or as an employee itself will need to have new skills to pick up these new jobs being impacted by Industrial Revolution 4.0. Okay, so I'm going to show you the scoreboard right now, though I don't know who you are. What kind of jobs will be available, or what kind of jobs will end? Okay, let me just share with you a little bit more later. Let me just show you the leaderboard. I don't know who is who I have, but you all use nickname, right? So congratulations, the top on my list who has followed through all the 6 questions and answered them as much as they can will be basically Breeze. Congratulations, Mr. or Miss Breeze, whoever you are. Well done. I give you a virtual clap. Good job, good job. You have proven to be the first master of Industrial Revolution 4.0, at least in my quiz. At least in my quiz. Well done, Breeze. Well done. Okay. Okay. I can't give you a physical present right now, but I can actually give you a virtual clap. Okay. And congratulations. All right. That was just an activity for us to find out more about Industrial Revolution 4.0. Okay, so let me share back my screen here. Okay, so I thought instead of me reciting the history of all the 3 revolutions itself, you go through the quiz, now you have an idea, right? So how do we come so far? So what does it mean for us then? So this is where I look through some definitions, and I try to share with you more. What does IR 4.0 stands for? Okay, it refers to a new phase in the Industrial Revolution that focus very heavily on interconnectivity, automation. Remember, it was brought over from the last revolution, machine learning, AI, and the big word here, data. Okay, so as more jobs get automated, and we leave it to automation to do it, I think jobs traditionally require a lot of labor itself, or maybe certain, for example, if I look at this situation, we see we want to be more positive in a way. Industrial Revolution presents a whole new world of opportunities for us also. Okay, we don't want to focus too much on what jobs will be lost, but definitely we will see new jobs created. What we are concerned is whether we have the skills to take on these new jobs. Okay, so what does it mean for us? What is the impact? Okay, so job reformation, emerging jobs. So jobs you never hear of in the past, like for example, big data analysts, so all these are cybersecurity experts. All these are because we have new jobs being created in this revolution. That's why we require people that skill sets to come in, to be able to pick up all this. So increased use of technology in training, definitely. Even now you are attending a webinar. Previously training was always done face-to-face, right? Yeah, and new work arrangements and overseas sourcing. And one very important point, because of the interconnectivity of all the technologies and IoT itself forming a basis of our everyday communication, we see definitely increased collaboration, ladies and gentlemen. And that is one of the key essences of impact of Industrial Revolution 4.0. We collaborate so much more than we ever did in physical space, and we collaborate so much more in virtual space. Okay, so here, I've highlighted increased collaboration because I wanted you to focus on what was this and what is all this that we are going to talk about next. Okay, so let me pause my sharing here for a while to address some of the questions I can see, or maybe I see in the chat. Then I will also address some of them in the Q&A later. Oh, Gadik, thank you. I think you answered some of my quiz questions in the Q&A itself. In a way, brilliant, genius, and AI. Yeah, through AI is one of it. So here, let me also see what kind of Lee Tian-Gui says what kind of jobs will end, or what kind of jobs will be available, right? So jobs that will be available, like I mentioned earlier, is actually jobs in the emerging sectors. Okay, just to address your question a little bit, we want to focus a little bit more about what kind of jobs might be available. So we'll see new sectors like big data in the world of big data. And because we are so collaborating so much more in virtual space, and companies are using so much more of cloud technologies, we will need to secure this data properly in the cloud system. So we need experts to be able to do that. We need people with the skill sets to be able to do that as well. I think even in the energy sectors, we are looking a lot into clean energy and technologies that can help us develop or maybe find ways to harness clean energy itself. So they will need people, again, with the relevant skill sets to get into these industries. And all these are the byproduct of, I think, Industrial Revolution 4.0 also. Okay, but the word here that we really wanted to bring forward to you is working is no longer silo. I do my own, you do your own. It's really a lot on collaboration. I believe a lot of you work from home, right? And work from home during the COVID-19 period. And without all these virtual collaboration tools to support you, you probably will not have been able to work from home that smoothly. Okay, and here, let's look at the next portion. In fact, just a side story to share. Here, I remembered years ago, working from home was not a very popular concept back then. It's been explored before, but I think we still like to go to the office. Maybe it's more conducive, or simply we didn't really, see the need to transit to work from home. So at that point in time, I had a good friend who was my ex-colleague. He has since left and joined another company itself. He was already practicing work from home, and mind you, that was like 5-6 years ago, he was already practicing work from home. So every time we see him for dinner or whatever, he will always come out in his shorts and Bermudas shorts. Then I say, then my question to him is, aren't you working? He said, yeah, I'm working from home. Then I was like, wow. So I said, your boss is so kind, and need to check on whether you really do your work. He said, no, we have conferences, we have meetings, with Skype meetings, we have Microsoft Teams meetings. We have a lot of other things to show that we are doing work in virtual space. It's not just me being physically there anymore. So that was like 5-6 years ago, way before the pandemic started or anything, that he has already, his company that he's working for is already exploring this work from home concept using virtual collaboration tools. Okay, so indeed, let's look at now, what are some of the benefits? What are some of the things that will help? So now we can see, let's recap after I've talked so much so far. We started off the third topic on virtual collaboration, talking a lot about Industry 4.0. Because of Industry 4.0, certain technologies have allowed us to collaborate more easily and virtually as well. Okay, so the digital workplace becomes the new normal, accelerated by this pandemic. Don't you all agree? If not of this pandemic, we never would have pushed forward so hard to do this digital workplace or work from home stuff. But here we are, and I think it's a good thing. We are getting there. Collaboration and teamwork are facilitated by technology itself, not by physical location. You see the story of my friend. He's been working from home for quite a number of years of his working life with that company. And he only needs to physically be in the office when he needs to do a physical inspection. But other than that, all his meetings or his work is done from the comfort of his own workplace. It may not be his own workplace. Sometimes he will book a co-working space and work. So in fact, co-working spaces are getting increasingly popular. And the next part is actually the most common means that companies use to improve productivity in the workplace is the implementation of virtual collaboration tools. Okay, so the virtual collaboration tools come into play here. Okay, because companies are using this to determine or to help us improve productivity in the workplace. Okay, so increasing popularity of virtual collaboration tool. Now, quick check, just out of curiosity before I move on to this section, and you can share with me on the chat, things. What are some, since I talk about virtual collaboration, and I tell you that companies are using this in the current times where working from home is the new normal, or working anywhere outside the office also becomes quite common, facilitated by technology. So what are some of the common virtual collaboration tools you use in your workplace? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to share with me in the chat itself. Okay. So Priscilla, thank you. We have Zoom. Well done. Then we also have Microsoft Teams from Rashida Rosley. We have Charlotte, SharePoint. Then we have Emily, WebEx. Wow, Vivian's, WebEx, right? Yeah, Cisco WebEx and Google Meet, Google Collaboration Suite, and Google Classroom. Okay, you can't see all the frantic replies that are coming in. Over on my side here, all flying in. Thank you so much. I see. Wow, Monday.com. Yeah, you know where I see Monday.com most often? On YouTube ads. Monday.com. Fan Chang. Yeah, I'm glad that you are a user of Monday.com. Google Docs. Yes, Manling Chua also use Google Docs, and very good. Dropbox, OneDrive, WhatsApp, Zoom, Slido, and Google Slack, Trello. In one of my classes for digital workplace programs, I use the app Trello to get my participants to do a virtual collaboration activity on Trello itself, on the app Trello itself. It's really, very useful. Trello, thank you for mentioning that, Maggie Ho. And we have Susanna who says Zoom. Yeah, in fact, I think Zoom definitely became very popular because of the pandemic that we are facing right now. Everybody zoom into Zoom, zoom into Zoom. Yeah, I think it was around for a while, but we never really saw the need for it until now, right? Woof, wow, Padlet. Thank you, Swanee. Padlet. Wow, Padlet is something that I use quite common in my virtual classes as well. Padlet. Padlet, Google Drive, iDrive. So Padlet spells as P-A-D-L-E-T. In case you're curious, you can go and Google to find out more about Padlet. Clubhouse. Oh, I must find out a little bit more about this Clubhouse. I've seen it appear twice, Kim Tam and this Ching Lok mentioned Clubhouse. I don't know. I hope it's a virtual collaboration too and not a physical Clubhouse. Yeah, joke there. But thank you for sharing with me. I know I learned something new. You see, this is why I get you all to share with me, so that at least I know it's actually will be useful to open chat to view to all. No, because right now, if you're in a webinar setting, you will only hear from me and you won't be able to see each other's chats. Limited to iPhone user for now. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ko Cheng Lok, for telling me the Clubhouse app he or she is saying is limited to the iPhone user now. Yeah, that explains why I think maybe I'm not a fan. I don't really use iProduct. I do have an iPad. No, I'm more of an Android user. Trending on fire. Thank you, Swanee, for telling us. Well done. Yeah, it's trending and on fire. Google Drive, iDrive, or I think Common, Slack, Trello. Okay, and Google Classroom. Some of you use Collaboration Suite, Teams. I see Teams. I see SharePoint. I use SharePoint and Teams, and also OneDrive quite comfortably in our work. So pretty similar to Google Drive and all that. Once you know how to use one, I think you will know how to use all of it. It's just probably different platform. Yeah, I'm just reading through the messages. Oh, Clubhouse, Priscilla. Oh, Miro. Thank you, Fan Zhang. Fan Zhang says Miro. Miro is also another like board, collaborative board where you can go and do your postings and sharings, right? A little bit similar to Mentimeter, but the interface is more of like a post-it note thing. Yeah? Priscilla Ho also shares with us that Clubhouse app only is for talking. Okay, cannot see each other. So it's a Clubhouse app. So it's an app that you all have on the iPhone. Okay, I see. Thank you very much. Here, Google Drive, iDrive. Let me just see whether I miss out anything. Zoom. I think Zoom definitely pop up quite a lot. And I think some of you mentioned Discord, GitHub. Wow, StreamYard. See, this is where we can learn from one another, because some of these things that we probably never really tried before, only when we see others trying it, then we're like, hey, it can be done this way, right? So let me go to the, Mabel says she cannot type in chat, I'm sorry. Yeah, Mabel, that's why she sent a Q&A. I think you can now, right? Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Padma says Microsoft Teams. Yes, Microsoft Teams is definitely one of the other tools that we use, and it has improved a lot over the past few months or 1 year that I've used it for classes and even for meetings. Right. So here, thank you for sharing with Wendy Chu says Weixin Office. Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much. I have a lot of responses in the chat. Okay, and this is where where we move into the next section on the increasing popularity of virtual and collaboration tools. We see the popularity of virtual collaboration tools, like all the ones that you have mentioned just now, rising and getting more and more popular, and people are getting more and more comfortable to using it because we are becoming increasingly global and digital workforce. Don't you all agree? And technology is so part of our lives right now. And so much of and with this work from home gradually becoming more and more of a new normal, we have to accept that, we need to be assisted by this technology itself. And a second trend that we picked up, that what causes virtual collaboration tools to be really popular, is because of this thing called rise of the gig economy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you all know what gig economy stands for? Yeah, I picked out the word gig economy. Yeah, that's right. So sorry, Chua Strong, you can't hear me. Can. Can. Oh, okay. Good. Kelvin says good. Kelvin Lee, thank you. Yes. Don't you agree? Now we really have a lot of these people in the gig economy itself, right? So gig economy means we they are generally considered under the freelancers or self-employed people, where they work on projects. Yeah, SCP. Thank you, Priscilla. Yeah, they work on projects. They pick up projects. Which usually they have skills which certain projects require. So they will just so-called like use the skills, or maybe sell the skills for a certain project, and then that's it. A lot of it, they work on project basis. So they pick up projects here and there, and many of these workers of the gig economy itself don't work in a physical office, because there's no need for them to be at a physical office all day long. And so the rise of the gig economy is certainly something that we see, as a very important factor or trend that contributes to virtual collaboration tools. Even your Grab food riders, your Grab drivers, your Grab private hire drivers are all part of the gig economy as well, right? And also this comes back to us. Every time now you visualize yourself sitting at home at night, 10 o'clock, you are not watching the TV, you are taking out your phone, and what are you doing? Or at least now every at night 10 o'clock, I think 10 o'clock onwards, you will hear a lot of the Lazada app advertisement on TV until you will definitely go and swipe the Lazada app just to see what's there. So 24/7 shopping. You shop anytime, anywhere on a device. And this has given rise. That means since we shop 24/7, we kind of also expect the sellers or people to respond to us 24/7. A bit demanding, but such is the way the world has changed. So every 10 o'clock, 10:30, I hear the Lazada, add to cart. So that's where I go and check my cart. And then I go and ask the seller some questions. So we expect responsiveness fast because of all these trends. And then last but not least, I think a very important trend is that we have made certain devices and software very affordable. And this makes virtual collaboration kind of like accessible to individuals and workers. A lot of things you can use for free, like Google Classroom. Someone mentioned Google Classroom just now, right? Even Microsoft Teams itself, if you're usually a company will just subscribe for you on a corporate license and you use it. For Google Classroom, for home use itself or Classroom itself, it's free. So all these are so readily available, and they are almost given to you at a very low or even zero cost. It has made virtual collaboration very accessible to many of us who are not even physically in the office itself. Okay, so here, next up, coming up, just to share with you a little bit more on virtual collaboration, since you already asked me since you already told me a lot about virtual collaboration and all that. Okay, so let me just take a look at some of the things. Okay, good. In virtual collaboration, right, in the employees itself, with the accessibility of all these software and tools, they work towards a common goal. We use collaborative technology as the primary means of cooperation. So my friend who was working from home years ago could easily edit a document in the SharePoint or in his OneDrive, and then vet a document from there, and then send it to his boss for vetting and approval. Okay, so unlike in the past where everything has to be done in paper or by hand or maybe in person, so he can actually make use of collaborative technologies or tools like this to facilitate even submitting of a proposal or reports. So here, the keyword here is really real time. Nowadays, it's really all about real time, and also wherever you are, even if you are a workforce, even if you are overseas working for a local company, it can also be possible. Okay, even though there's no physical interaction here. All right, and then let's move on to the next portion here. And I think we're on good time here. I'm going to finish off shortly, probably in a couple of minutes or so, to give you more time for Q&A, so you can bombard me with questions, no issues. I'll try to answer them as much as I can. Okay, so I'm going to also get you to look at some of the advantages of collaborative technologies. And in fact, in my next workshop, we will be touching more on Microsoft 365, and we'll give you a chance to hands-on on some of the technology on real time. I mean, get you all to practice, signing up for an account and all that in my next seminar. Okay, so what are some of the advantages of collaborative technologies itself? It enables real-time information exchange, file data syncing, file sharing, and really it facilitates business processes. You don't have to wait for the person to be inside the office, then they approve something before they hand the report back to you. So in fact, anytime, anywhere, they can edit the report, look at it, and then it's uploaded to a OneDrive or uploaded to SharePoint where all the employees involved can access it. And really the other advantage is to streamline workflows by improving communication between departments, between different departments. You know how difficult it is for a big organization sometimes to coordinate meeting within different departments, right? But now it is made possible by collaborative technologies like Zoom, Skype, anywhere, anytime, Microsoft Teams, we can have the call. And also it allows team members to communicate and promote team problem solving. Now, I have friends who have been working from home ever since the pandemic started, and Microsoft Teams is really the next best friend. Yeah, so even at 9 p.m., sometimes you get Microsoft Teams call. So that is one of the disadvantages probably of such technologies also. Since we talk about advantage, we also mention a little bit about disadvantage. She says, well, anytime my boss wants to call me, she can reach me on Teams. Yeah, but well, we can't, in a way, we move on with technology. We are in the world of Industrial Revolution 5.0 these days. Oh, important, let me just read out one chat that I have. Important thing is availability of bandwidth, software, and hardware in communication. Yes, I think that's where the IoT and internet technology is coming. But we are quite glad to be in Singapore, because I think Singapore is quite or well connected everywhere. Almost everywhere I go has Wi-Fi, or at least for us, even though we're a very small country, we have quite good telco or data coverage. So even if I don't get Wi-Fi, I have a like 50 gig data plan. I can quite comfortably use it outside anywhere that I like, you know. So, and if we're talking about the Wi-Fi connection, wireless SG is really quite strong and stable. And I was quite also impressed by it, you know, because I use it quite often at my workplace itself. Wireless SG, I was, wow, it's stable, and I do a lot, I mean, in a way, and it's also secure in a sense. Okay, so I find that in this particular, in the climate, or in at least in Singapore that we are in, I think internet connectivity is not really that much of an issue, but I think it's getting people to be comfortable in using the collaborative technologies. You know, getting people or your staff or maybe your colleagues to be comfortable with using it. Right? So here, let's share with you two real-life examples in other countries to see what has collaborative technologies done to enhance productivity, or what are the statistics shown. Okay. Research has found that, for example, American Express, a financial services company, right, employees that work from home were 43% more productive. Wow. Yeah. So then the next question is, how did they measure this productivity? So we will talk about that also more in detail in the course itself, because obviously this is a webinar, so we won't have enough time to actually cover that. But yep, then there's the next part we'll be looking at, how to measure this. And JD Edwards, a software company itself, also has basically tally information or statistics to show that it's up to their workers are 25% more productive than their in-office colleagues. So they must have some productivity measurement to compare in-office and working from home. Okay, so Mandy, you can hear me, Mandy? Yeah, I think she said no sound, but I think should be okay if you can't let me know. Okay, so I'm going to end off my section here with a quote by Henry Ford, but do stay a bit longer, because we do have a Q&A session that we can help you to answer some of the questions. We'll leave about 15 to 20 minutes for that. You're free. Please put in your questions in the Q&A section here. After the talk about virtual collaboration, okay, today let's recap a little bit. We talked about definition of productivity, concept of productivity, and really then we focus a little bit more about employee productivity. And at the same time, I gave you a quiz on IR 4.0. And I hope that helped you understand a little bit more about what is the impact of the industrial revolution it has on us. Okay, and also at the same time, I hope it also helped you to realize that, hey, you know, we are really in a world of virtual collaboration right now. And sometimes we may feel that at the same time, we may feel that, hey, you know, how can it be that even if I need to work from home, I may not be as productive as I'm in the office? But because now you have virtual collaboration technologies and tools to help you, okay, you can actually be equally productive in the home as well as in the office. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Mandy. Yes, Mandy, do check. Yes, because you can see that now you all have told me so many things about collaborative technologies, that you use Zoom, you use Microsoft Teams, you use OneDrive, you use Google Drive, all this. All these are actually supporting yourself to be more productive, even when you're not physically at the workplace. And I think from the way I look at it, at least, you know, a digital workplace or working from home is here to stay. Once companies have tested it out and realized that it works, hey, why not? We can continue in this direction. And they will continue to use more and more collaborative technologies to help workers be able to work from home and hence become more productive. Okay, so in the course itself, in the 2 days course itself, you'll be learning a little bit more about productivity measures also, how to measure productivities of employees, you know, in the workplace, and what are some of the processes or some of the tools or some of the types of productivity measures that you put. So in the actual 2 days course itself, I think you would be actually looking a lot more in depth, because what I've given you today are just the key points to help you have an overview of what's covered in a part of the course itself. And I hope we interest you enough to want to come and join us. But I think most importantly, I hope you take away something that's useful to you, to realize that, hey, we are in a world of new normal digitalization right now. We can't escape using these technologies no matter how much we may not like it. And so if you can get used to it, and then you realize that, hey, wow, actually, I didn't know we could do so much more things using these technologies or these collaborative technologies compared to when I was doing things the old way. Okay, so with this being said, I leave you with a quote. Okay, though I'm going to open up the floor for Q&A questions. Okay, for questions. Coming together is the beginning, as with any team. And for me, any team that I work with, I really appreciate the chance to work together. Staying together is progress, and working together is success. So how do we reach this success? It's facilitated by good people, by competent people, and also people who are comfortable in using tools or even virtual collaboration tools to support their everyday work. All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to spend a couple of more minutes to stay around here, because we have about 15 minutes more. And it's just nice because I intended to leave this time for about question and answers. So please park your answers in the Q&A section. Okay, I will just look at some of the questions there. Okay, so apologize, I didn't have a chance to answer some of the questions earlier, and I may have missed that out as we go through. So let's take a look. Ooh, cool. Okay, so we have, okay, let's answer Casey. Okay, I can choose to answer certain questions. Let me see. Let me just park it here for a while. I say, okay, Casey asked me that how does I mentioned that productivity campaigns has been around for the last 50 years. Yes, it is. Yes, it has been. Yes, it has been. Way back in the 1960s, we started it. 1970s, all the way to 1990s. We were all the while driving productivity campaigns, because we realized that this is what very important part this is a very important factor for us to grow as an economy itself. Because why? Simply because why? For Singapore, do we have any natural resources to start with in Singapore itself? Yeah, do we have any natural resources to start with in Singapore itself, ladies and gentlemen? Only human, that's right. Thank you, Rashida. The only resources that we have are humans. So if we are the major resources of this kind of Singapore itself, and we cannot be productive, then it will spell disaster. Okay, so that's why we are so focused on it. We have been driving productivity campaigns all this while. Okay, so thank you very much, Casey. I answered that live already, done. And then let me go to Wong. Wong says this: if using technology and collaboration tools means, you can see the questions that he posted in the Q&A section, huh? Okay, let me Let me maybe switch my slide a bit so that we can have the Q&A here. So let me take it from here. So if using technology and collaboration tools mean we work 24/7, can we really consider that as productive? Or are we just spending more time doing the same amount of work? Yes, indeed. I don't deny when we use virtual collaboration tools, we work almost 24/7. And to me, like this is where we revisit the concept of productivity itself. So when you work 24/7, you must also see what are you working on 24/7. Maybe the project was meant to be done in 2 hours, but you're actually spending more than 2 hours doing it. Then you ask yourself back this question: so am I being productive here? Even if I have all these virtual collaboration tools to help me work from home, does it mean I'm productive? Because it goes back to the concept of productivity. If you are in the way we look, I see it this way. The job can be done in 2 hours. Hopefully with collaboration tools or technology, I can do it in 1.5. That means I'm productive. So, but if I'm spending more than the stipulated hours to do it, then it could mean that I'm not comfortable with the tools I'm using, or it could mean that maybe it's my time management as well. Okay, so I hope that it answers your question, Mr. Wong Kok Wah, or whoever that is, because it's like we go back to the concept of productivity, what productivity means. So in the course itself, you will be actually looking at that. Okay, so I will clear this one, and I think we also answered a couple of questions itself here. What is the name of the tool? This course you mentioned, I think. Shah, thank you. Winston already answered your questions. We hope that you found the answer that you want to look at. What are your top 5 collaboration tools? And okay, let me just answer this live. What are your top 5 collaboration tools and why? Thanks. Good question. For me personally, okay, in terms of cooperation wise, in terms of looking at a cooperation or company level, okay, for example, I like to use all the Microsoft apps, Microsoft 365 apps, because I think, firstly, for security reasons, and also I think it's quite user friendly. But personally, I use a lot of Google tools, the Google Suite tools, Google Classroom, or my Google Drive, and all that. So I don't really have a favorite, but I use the 2 big ones, like the Google and the 365. But I think when I see 365, I see it very useful in terms of cooperation, in terms of the cooperation level. A lot of organizations, they use that. And it's gotten me, when I first used Microsoft Teams for work, I also found it very not used to it, because I'm so used to Zoom. But practice makes perfect, like what they always say. Okay, so thank you, Swan A and Priscilla. Hello, let's see. Let me answer Priscilla's question. Maybe you all can help here. Any more questions? Please type it in the chat so that I can help you answer them live as much as I can. Okay, or I mean, not in the chat, but in the Q&A, I'm sorry. You can put it in the Q&A so that we can help you see it live, answer them live. Or you can put it in the chat. If I can read it from here, I can answer it. Okay, yeah, so Priscilla says, I have an Apple MacBook and I find the software is not as user-friendly as Microsoft software. So I'm thinking of buying a laptop of another brand. Am I doing the right thing? So Priscilla, we are asking you here. Actually, the thing is, this is a question who is ever in debate between Apple users and Windows users. Ching, ching, ching. Because I asked my friends the same thing as well. I see some of my colleagues using MacBook and they swear by it. They will never use a Windows. For me, I will always use the Windows, and I don't use the MacBook itself. Okay, so I think it's just the interface you need to get used to. The interface is, other than that, the basic functions and all that is always the same. And to your question, you got to ask yourself what you are actually looking for. I mean, in the laptop, is it to do software? It is to do video editing? Is it to do photo editing? Or is it just to do normal work like video conferencing? Or are you using it for gaming? Because if you're asking this, means buying a new laptop actually means that you may feel that the current laptop does not suit your certain needs. So you examine your needs first, then you decide whether you want to buy a new laptop or not. You know, because I think if I'm not wrong, I may be wrong, but according to what I know from MacBook users, they use it quite often for video editing and photo editing, and they find it's really good compared to other brands. Okay, so I'm not a MacBook or Windows expert, but based on my experience, I hope it helps you. Thank you, Priscilla. I hope you have gotten your answer that you want. And let us know if you do get a new laptop. Okay, so here we have Tian Gui Li says, if one was last employed 7 years ago, okay, and how can one adapt to the new work environment, okay, especially in the new IR 4.0? Okay, so let me answer this question live, okay, from Tian Gui. Okay, if one was employed 7 years ago, how can one adapt to the new environment, especially in the new Industrial Revolution 4.0? Any advice? Okay, this is a question. Thank you very much. It's a very good question, Tian Gui, and please feel free to keep your questions coming back. I'm going to spend maybe 1 minute or so answering Tian Gui's question here. Yeah, so you are mentioning you were last employed 7 years ago, so I'm looking at probably 2014, 2013. Yep. I think in a way you already asked me this question. It means that I see it as you are already willing to adapt already. That is why you're asking me, how can one adapt? Because you must first recognize that there is a need to adapt, then you will be asking this question, at least from how I see it. So which means you already have taken the first step to want to adapt to this change. So no doubt, IR 4.0, okay, has a lot of these new technologies. No fear, okay, don't fear. Fear is part of challenging us to do better, but no sweat this time around. I would advise you to read up more on some of the technologies that are coming up, and go for reskilling as well. Okay, a lot of the courses that we see from all the CET or continuing education and training providers itself, okay, also has short courses and so-called catered for adults to pick up these new skills in a very in a shorter time frame. Okay, so NTUC Learning Hub has a lot of short courses that can help out as well. But in fact, I think if you want to then look at some of the courses, my friends will be able to help you, or my colleagues from NTUC Learning Hub will be able to help you by giving you some of the website links. But I think, Tian Gui, do not fear. Okay, definitely some form. I will not lie to you, but definitely some form of reskilling and upskilling is needed. Okay, definitely, because you see all these things that we are learning right now, we can't go through it. We can't do it without us practicing and learning as well. Okay. So you have to be able to learn from somebody who knows how to do it, then display, then be able to practice it and get better. Okay, so thank you. I hope you got your answers. Then we have, okay, thank you, Priscilla. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Emily, for joining us. Okay, everyone. So time check now. Oh, we have time for a couple more questions as well. Oh, okay. Let's see. Would you be able to advise coding is applicable to jobs outside of data analysts and scientists? Okay, let me try to answer this one live. Done. So, oops, sorry, I picked out the ones here. Okay, I accidentally clicked done, but I think for Mr. Let's see, Mr. Chua Ming Hock, or where our friend Chua Ming Hock here, I accidentally actually finished your question, but the question you asked is, are you able to advise whether coding is applicable to jobs outside of data analysts or scientists? I would say no, but why do we encourage kids to learn coding? It's not just because we want them to pick up the skill coding, but to be able to do coding, the kids need to be, or people need to be able to analyze and learn, and also do a lot of logical thinking. So it's this type of thinking skills that we want to cultivate people to have. So definitely with this type of thinking skills, you still can go into other jobs. It's not necessary you want to be a scientist, then you learn coding. You know, so I hope it helps in that sense. Then Daphne says, ask, if not good in maths, how to grasp Excel formula if not good in maths? Don't worry, Daphne. I'm also not very good in maths. I also try to learn Excel, can do. Just a bit slow. People take 1 day to learn, I take 2 days. So definitely, I'm sure you can do it. Just practice, practice, practice. And in fact, in Excel, they calculate for you. You don't really have to calculate, you just need to put formula. we have also some Excel courses coming up. Okay. All right. So time check right now. Let's take a look. Oh, we are quite close to that. So I think we are good. So let's see some of the chat messages. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you very much for coming in. We hope you have learned a lot today. And thank you, Shir Tan. Okay, and well done, everyone. So for those who have participated so much in my session and earlier on, I thank you so much for your participation. It was a very great sharing session. No doubt it was really short. And we hope to share with you a bit more because, you know, a webinar is always limited in certain sense because of time. And also we have a lot more to share with you in terms of case studies and applications. You know, then this is something you can practice when you come to a class, either physically or virtually. So I think it's great in that sense because thank you so much for the encouragement. Thank you, Rashida. Oh, thank you. Charlotte, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, yes, I hope from all the sharing, it entices you to come and learn more. Okay, really, because in class or in a proper session in the real 2 days course, you will learn a lot more on the application portion, and you get to work with people. And that's fully utilizing the essence of fully displaying the essence of virtual collaboration. Okay, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to, if there are no more, let me just take a look and see quickly close up if there's any more questions itself. Thank you. Okay. All right. So I think I've answered most of your questions. If you do have some more, maybe we can, and regarding the courses itself, you can always contact my colleagues from NTUC Learning Hub to help out there. Okay. So I will pass the mic over to our moderator, to your host, and I'll see you in our next seminar or webinar if possible.